How you doing today? My name is Mark, and I'm going to do a quick video on how to connect to Access. So I have a little bit of data in here already, but this is basically a new database. So all I need to do is go to external data, open up my Outlook. So open up my external data and new data source. So go to new data source, and then I'm going to go down here to other source, and I'm going to select Outlook folder. And I'm going to go into the Outlook folder, and I can append the data, or I could just import all the data in. So there's two ways. So if I import all the data in, then the data is going to be here for me to manipulate, but I'm not going to affect Outlook. So if I append to a table or link to a source, and I'm going to link to a source now. So if I go in here, click on address book. Of course, yours is going to be different than mine. So you would find a different contact group in here that you would select from. So I created one just so that I don't show anybody's personal information, which is Congress. So I just go ahead and import it, and I already have a folder that I imported named Congress that we're going to look at later. But I'm going to call this one Congress 2. So next thing I'm going to do, just finish. And it finished importing. So I have Congress 2 here. Now just note, when you see this symbol over here, you're going to know that you are connected to Outlook. So any changes that I make here are going to change in Outlook as well. Sometimes it won't let you change it. It depends on the type of data. But right now, so I could change the title of this person and just change it to Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. And there it is. So if you go into Access, the title is going to change. So it makes it easier because it's a little bit difficult when you're in Access. Outlook, when you're in Outlook and you're trying to make changes, you have to open up each name and make the change. So this way I can change multiple records, and I have the data here. So I can, like say, for example, if I want to add a department to everybody, I could go down here. If they're all in the same department, I could do this and it'll be fine. So this makes it much easier. So this right here, this is it. So this is how you import it. So now I'm going to, you can stay here, and I'm going to talk about some more things that you could do. Okay, so now the thing that I want to show you here is that, all right, I have this data that I imported, and this data is connected. Oops, sorry, this one is connected to Outlook. So everything you see here is what is in Outlook. Sometimes you may have to refresh it, and after you make an update, you may have to refresh Outlook as well in order to see the changes. So one of the things that I did was I created a database so that every time I'm using data with people, I sometimes like to add Mr. and Mrs. in front of the name. So that way, if I send out an email, especially because a lot of times I'm dealing with people in Portuguese, so I do this for them because they usually start off with a certain message that is generic, specific. So in English, you may not have to do it, but in case you want to, or in case you want to have something that you have to change continually based on some sort of criteria, you can do this. But this is one example. So I created this table called names. So on this table, the ID field is not important, but the name and the title is there. So what this is a table with all the male names and female names with the gender specific titles. So I left out, certain names like, I don't know, Taylor and names like that that can go both ways. Riley, those types of names. As far as I know, there might be a couple of those types of names in there, but for the most part, I left out those names that are usually male and female. So there'll be a few of them, and this is like the top, I don't know, 2,000 names, somewhere around there. So I have a lot of the names, so it's going to take out a lot of. It's going to reduce a lot of work, but of course, you always have some of these names that are a little bit strange, but you can always add it to the list, and in the future, you won't have to deal with that name again. And so I have this name list, so names and title. Now, what I did was I created a query, an update query, where I put in this information here. So let's look at this from the Zoom. So I have names and title from this name database, name table, and the title is the field within there. And that's the first one. So the second one, and that's for the database Congress 2, which is connected to Outlook. And I have for the title. So the name title is going to change. And what I did was I also connected name with first name, because the name field in title, and you could give it the same name so that you could make it easier, but it doesn't have to be the same name. So I have in the names database, I also have the name field, and the name field is connected to the first name field, and title, it's going to update the title. So if I look here, I have the names.name. So this is a name database that is going to update it to that field, and it's already connected. So if it's not connected, I would have to put names equal Congress 2 dot names, names.name equal Congress 2 dot first. I'm sorry, like that. But so I have this table here, and we look here, you can see that on the title, I don't have no names in the title. So once I update the convert, so you could look at the data and then just hit run, and it's going to, if you have your warning set on, it's going to give you a warning that it's going to update. And this could take a couple of minutes, but it's updating right now. And some of you might have a faster computer than I do, but as this updates, you will be able to do two things. You're going to be able to go to your Outlook, and it's going to be updated in your Outlook, or you can go to the table. So it's going to ask you if you want to do it, to update it. If you realize that you made a mistake, of course, click no. Sometimes after I do this, I realize I made a mistake, but I know this is correct. And here it is. So it's added Mr. and Mrs. to all the person's names, and I have it set up here. Now, if I go to Outlook, this will be updated in my Outlook. And this is something that you could do yourself, so you can connect it to Outlook. And I'm just not going to show Outlook because I have a lot of data in there connected to other people, and I don't want to reveal any privacy. But these are politicians, and they have sacrificed their private life for public. So, and also you should contact them and complain about something that you don't agree with it. Well, if you feel like you should. So we have this information here, and therefore that's all you have to do. So now I have other things that I could do. I could also add a column to this, but it will not show up in the other database. So I can just manipulate this and work with the data, and it's connected to it. Now, if I want to, say, for example, I can also import it, which I did previously. I imported all the data and I've made all the changes. Now, this one here, it's malleable and I can change it to the way that I want. Now, one thing to mention is it's not going to have all the tables, all of the fields that you would see in Outlook itself. So if you want to have all the fields, which to me, I do it this way because the other one, there's too many fields that you don't really need. But if you want to import all those fields, you can. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to export Outlook into a CSV file. And then you import it into this as a CSV file, and it's going to have all those fields. Now, once I import it, I can change the data as I would like. I can export it again to a CSV file, and then I can go to Outlook. I can delete the information that the tables that I have there, or the contacts that I just updated, and import them again, and then everything will be updated to the new standard. That's something extra that you can do if you want all those fields. But this is just to show you like a quick way where you can connect to Outlook. And I wanted to keep this as short as possible so I don't go into like a long video that people don't really need. So I'll talk about a new subject in the future, but I just want to show you how to connect to Outlook. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Contact me below, send a message, and there should be additional contact information for you to reach me on my channel. But thanks a lot for watching the video, and any comments, please feel free to comment away. If you like it, didn't like it, whatever you feel.